It really doesn't move. Do you see that? It lasts so long, which is great. Guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking a full face of a brand. We are doing a full face of About Face. I have a bunch of makeup on my face today. Yes, we went a little vampy with the lip. It just felt right. I love vampy lips. I know it's more of a fall thing, but fall is my favorite season. So it makes sense. But I would love to know down below, what's your favorite product from About Face if you have used them, and also what other brands you want me to do a full face of. And yeah, I just want to jump into the video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this full face of About Face. A full face of About Face. Let's get into it. I'm excited. So we're going to start with our brows like we always do. They actually don't have a brow gel, so I'm going to start with the Rose Ink brow gel, their clear brow gel, and then we're going to go on with their brow pencil. So I'm just going to gel up my brows. Brows are gelled. Now let's get into the About Face brow pencil. So this has a spoolie on one side, like that. It's a nice spoolie, and then this is the brow pencil. I'm going to just push it up a little bit. It's kind of at a slant. I hope you can see. Let me push it up a little bit more, actually. It's at a bit of a slant, which is really similar to the Westman Atelier one that I love. It isn't quite as pinpointy as, or as thin at the end as the Westman Atelier one, but it is very similar. So I got the shade Black Brown. I generally tend to go with the shade that isn't quite black, but is like the next darkest shade, just because my my hairs are pretty dark. So we're gonna just lightly fill in with this. And with this brow pencil, I don't like to push too hard. Let me just put it down so I don't actually break the tip. And then let me just do a little swatch for you guys here so you can kind of see what it looks like. I don't like to push too hard, even though it isn't super pigmented, because it builds up nicely on top of itself. So I'm just going to lightly fill in without pushing too hard on the actual pencil to kind of give myself a little bit of a shadow as opposed to like fully filling in, because I do like in summer a little bit less of an intense brow and more of just like a shadow in the areas I need filling in, if that makes sense. And then here where I need to kind of fill in the scar that I have, I'll put a little bit more pressure on the pencil just so I get a little bit more pigment put down. But that filled it in pretty quickly. So what do you guys think of the shade match and all of that? Then what I like to do is at the end specifically, but just in general where I filled in, go over it with a spoolie. It just makes everything look a little bit more natural and less Sharpie brow. Oh my God, my phone's going crazy. Less Sharpie brow. Brows are filled. You have to let me know what you think of the shade and all of that. I actually really like this brow pencil. Wrong side. I always open the wrong side on this because it has a waxiness that I like my brow pencils to have, which makes them kind of last really long, especially if you get a little bit more oily, like if you're at the beach and you're kind of sweating, or I don't know, waxier brow pencils tend to last way better on me than other kind of more traditional style pencils. I really like it. If you hold it straight on, it's a little bit more of a thicker line, but if you hold the pencil to the side, you can kind of get some pinpointed, here we go, so you can see. I feel like you're not gonna be able to see but you get a little bit more of a pinpointed option. If you have really thin brows, this might not be for you, but I do think it could work for a lot of people. It lasts reasonably well throughout the day. By the end of the day, my brows are still on and they still look good. And I don't feel like it's faded in a patchy way or anything like that. I actually really enjoy this, and I thought I was going to, mainly just because of the shape of the actual pencil. I feel like pencils that have that shape, I, for whatever reason, really enjoy. So we're moving on to the foundation. And I actually have reviewed the foundation on this channel before when it first came out. And I used these two shades here. What was it? M2 Neutral? Yeah, M2 Neutral and then MD2 Neutral. But they sent me a new shade. And this shade here is MD1 Neutral. So let me hold everything up so you can kind of see what they look like. So this one here is MD1 Neutral, and I do feel like I'm gonna need to mix in a touch of M2 Neutral, but we're gonna kind of try it all out. Oh my gosh, every single time I get nervous when I pull the thing out because I feel like I'm gonna get the foundation everywhere. It never happens, it's just in my mind. So this right here is the shade that I got. I hope you can tell. Yeah, there you go. It's right here. Let me swatch M2 Neutral next to it. MD2 Neutral is definitely too dark, but I like to mix everything kind of together. So I might do a mix of these two so you can see them side by side. Yeah, I kind of feel like actually a mix of M2 Neutral and MD1 Neutral. So I'm going to do a little bit of M2 Neutral on the back of my hand. Do you guys mix your own foundation shade a lot of the time? So these are the two side by side, and I'm going to just mix them together. Oh yeah, I feel like that's a good shade match for right now. I'm so pale. I feel like that's a decent match, and it's going to kind of, it'll match my kind of arms and stuff like that. I'm going to take the foundation on this brush here and kind of just get the foundation all up in this brush. It's my favorite way to apply foundation. Just, I don't know, everything just blends really nicely when you do this. So you kind of get the foundation all up in. And then we're going to, oh yeah, I feel like that's good. Because it's a little bit darker than what my face is right now, but it's not so much so. What do you guys think of the shape match? Do you like the mix of the two together? I'm just gonna blend it all into my face. We are blended. What do you guys think of the shade match, the coverage, all of that? I would say that this is a medium foundation that you can kind of build up to be a little bit more. You can also build up to the medium. It doesn't come out the bat like necessarily like hit you in the face with medium, but I would say it's more of a medium coverage that you can kind of build up. I just hit myself in the face. And I really, really enjoy this. I feel like for the price, honestly, it doesn't get better. It has nice skin, like very natural finish on the face. And it doesn't get too dewy. I have a very oily T-zone. It doesn't get dewy in my T-zone or anything like that. You have to let me know what you think down below. Now, for concealer, they do not have a concealer, so I'm going to go on with this concealer here. I'm going to do the Kulfi concealer in Mango Drop. I'm going to let that sit for about a minute-ish and then blend it out. So give me a minute. We'll be right back. Okay, it's been about a minute. I'm going to blend it out with this brush here. This is the Makeup by Mario F4, I believe. Yeah, F4, and I just like to blend with this brush here. This is a really good brush for travel because you can use it for so many different things. And it blends everything so nicely. Now we're going to move on to bronzer. About Face actually doesn't have a bronzer. So I'm going to go on with the Say Beauty, their bronzer. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. This is their Dew bronzer in the shade Swim, I believe. Yeah, in the shade Swim. And I'm going to just put it on the back of my hand. Kind of spread it out a bit like that. Dip in with this brush here, and we're going to just build, oh, look how pretty that shade is. We're just going to build up kind of around the face, and I'm also going to put some on my nose, and then we're going to go on with our blush. We are bronzed up. Now we're moving on to blush, and I was very excited to get my hands on this. So this is the About Face Cheek Freak. This is in the shade Quickie. They had so many shades. I almost picked up like 3. And then I was like, okay, relax. So I just got this one, but it is look how pretty that blush is. that I felt like it was going to be just a really good spring into kind of summer cheek flush. Some of the other shades they had that I really wanted were more of a fall-ish shade, so I thought, okay, well, I can get them in fall, but look how beautiful that is. So I actually really like this blush. I'm gonna do a little swatch on the back of my hand because it isn't so pigmented that I immediately am like, oh no, but it gives enough pigmentation and it's very buildable and it has a nice natural finish to it, which I really, really enjoy. So I'm going to take this blush brush here. I'm going to just pick up what I have on the back of my hand. Already put way too much on this brush. Immediate regrets. So we're going to tap some of that off, and then we're going to very lightly build this up on the cheeks. Again, this has like a really nice natural finish. I would say that natural to maybe a touch, a little bit matte, but to me, it's more of a natural finish. At least how it sits on my skin. But look how pretty that is. And again, you can build up, so don't overdo it like I almost did. You can kind of just little bit at a time. So we're going to keep dipping in, and then I'm going to take what I dipped into the container and take it off on the back of my hand, because first time I used this, I learned the very hard way. You can overdo it with this because they are very pigmented, but what's nice about it is it's really easy to correct when you apply too much, which some blushes you're like, okay, I'm gonna look insane like a bad 80s prom queen for the whole day, whereas this you can kind of course correct, which is really nice. I'm going to take whatever is left on the brush and just kind of tap it on my nose. Not too much, but I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a sun-kissed look without it being too much. And then we can kind of just blend it out with our finger. I just love it. It's so pretty. What do you guys think of the blush? I really enjoy it. I like the way that it wears throughout the day. I like the way that it feels. I like how it is easy to wear on top of no makeup and also makeup. Sometimes blushes don't always translate that well. This one works really well, and the other shades are just like, this one's amazing, but they have other shades that, like, they have this bright pink that I'm obsessed with. I almost got that one. Or they also have like purple blushes and more berry tones that are just given me life, but I really enjoy this. And it's definitely one that throughout the summer, I feel like it's going to be a good flush for kind of what I like. You have to let me know what you think down below. Now we're moving on to highlighter, and this is the highlighter I got. So this is the About Face Light Look Highlight Fluid, and I got something rose. What's the name? Roses in the Wall, and this is so pretty. I was actually shocked. I don't know why I was shocked, because I generally have really liked About Face products, like before I even tried any of these new ones. And this is just so stunning. This is actually one that they sent me, and look how beautiful that shade is. Look at the reflection. I'm just so obsessed with this. And I like to apply it on the back of my hand or wherever. Take some of the product lightly, because this highlight can get away from me quick sometimes. I'm going to pull it down the front of my nose. I love this. Tip of my nose. Just look how pretty that is. I hope you can see. And then we're also going to do on the high points of my cheek. Pretty that is. It's a really nice natural looking highlight, because it just kind of melts into the skin, but it picks up a reflection. I hope that this is doing it justice, but it's so pretty, and the way that it just melts into the skin so it isn't sitting on the top of the skin is great, and it lasts really nicely throughout the day. And I just overall am a big fan. So I'm just still picking up what is on the back of my hand. So just kind of doing this and then picking some of it up. It's just so pretty, but it isn't, even though when you do the first initial swatch, you go, oh no, this is super pink or something. that feels kind of unnatural on the skin. It is so pretty, and what I like about it is it blends really nicely with the blush, so it isn't kind of a stark color contrast, if that makes sense. It is just so pretty. And I really like it on the front of my nose and to highlight the tip of my nose. What do you guys think? You'll have to let me know down below. I really like this. It lasts pretty much throughout the entire day. And what I like about it is it works really well on top of no makeup skin. It kind of just melts into the skin, and it's very thin, the consistency, so it isn't feeling like you're adding a crazy amount of makeup on top of makeup on top of makeup, if that makes sense. And overall, I'm feeling it. Now what I want to do is I don't want to use too much powder, but I do want to talk about their powder. They sent me this, and this is in the shades Finale, I believe. Yeah, it's in the shade Finale. It's the pink powder. What I will say is I find their powder to be pigmented. Not in a bad way, okay? Nothing bad about it being pigmented, but it can get away from you fast, in my opinion. So this is, let me do it like this so that when product falls out, it doesn't look too crazy. Okay, so this is, I already forgot this. This is the powder here. Hey, focus on this. Hello. So this is the powder here, and it is very pigmented. It is a very bright pink. So just be careful. I find that when I use it with a powder puff, I don't love it. Not because of the formula, but because I feel like it changes the color of my under eye like way too significantly. So it's one where I'll just take a little bit of powder and powder with it. The powder itself, I enjoy. The pigmentation is just a little bit too much for me for using a powder puff. But I'm going to just powder kind of around my face and under my eyes too, so you can kind of see. But so this is how much I have on the brush, and I'm gonna tap even more off because again, the powder is very pigmented and I don't want it to completely change the tone of my makeup. Because I do find that it can kind of almost darken the makeup, not in the way that I kind of want. So I'm gonna just kind of focus here and pull a little bit under, but I feel like it just darkens everything, especially when I use the powder puff, the triangle puff. When I tried it a few times with the triangle puff, and it just wasn't the vibe for me. I feel like it just was doing way too much with the powder puff. At least this shade on my complexion, I feel like it almost like darkens the under eyes a little bit. And I know most people like their under eyes bright. And so I was really surprised because normally pink powders aren't quite dark, at least on me. Okay. How did my dog's hair get on me? She's not even here. On me, I feel like pink powders don't tend to darken. This one does. It is a comfortable wear powder. I do enjoy the way that it kind of mattifies. I mean, you can tell me what you think of what it did to my face, but I do feel like it kind of like darkens a little bit. But you have to let me know what you think down below. The actual product itself, the powder is nice. It does a really good job of mattifying. So I think that a lot of people who have more on the oily side skin would really enjoy this. I actually like it too for my T-zone. It's kind of the under eye area that I feel like it just darkens a little bit too much. And I just want something that isn't quite as intensely pigmented, but product wise, it does its job. It makes makeup last a lot longer. So that is that with the About Face powder. Now we're gonna move on to the eyes, my favorite part. And I'm very excited. So first, the About Face Smoke Stick. I cannot stop talking about this. I know I have a problem. And we're gonna use it two ways. We're gonna use it on my lower lash line. And we're also going to pull it through the crease area here on both sides, just in the crease area. And then I'm just going to blend both sides out with a crease brush. And I'm not going to bring it too far down. I'm just going to kind of do the kind of blend like this and not move the product too much. Then I like to take my finger and just go around the edge because the warmth of my finger always just makes the blend of concealer, girl, no, of eyeshadow blend a little bit nicer. And I really like the tone and all of that this kind of gives. I just love that. Now what I want to do is I want to use the other side of the About Face Smoke Stick. I actually don't know if I said what shade this is, which is insane. Am I kidding? This is in the shade Close But No Cigar. This is one of my most used products. This is probably in all of my favorites in the last like year. I am obsessed with this. This is such an incredible product. Anyways, I want to use the other side of the About Face Smoke Stick because it has the powder side, which you get this kind of, I feel like it's very early 2000s, this way that you can kind of take, so the powder's in here, and then you have this kind of tip that you can apply the powder wherever you want, which is genius. And I feel like more brands need to go back to what it used to be, because a lot of products used to kind of be like that. Like a lot of eye products used to be like that. And then we have the actual pencil side. Both these products do not move. This specifically does not move. I'm going to go back to that though, because I want to go on with their eyeliner. So this is the About Face. What is this? The full name. It is Line Artist Longwear Gel Eyeliner. And I do want to use this. This is really nice. I like how pinpointy it is. And I do want to kind of go and just at the very close to the lash line, gonna use this. I really like this eyeliner. It lasts really nicely throughout the day, and I have oily lids, so finding an eyeliner that doesn't kind of end up transferring or moving around or even just fading really quickly can be hard, and this one just lasts really nicely. And I like the glide. So this is in the shade Equestrian or something. I feel like I made that up. Oh no, Equestrian. So this is the shade here. I'm just gonna do, look how pretty that is. It's like a really nice dark brown, and I feel like a lot of people will like this. It has a little bit of warmth without it being too much. And we're just gonna kind of build up, and then we're gonna do a little wing with the About Face Smoke Stick. I'm also going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to put it just on the lower lash line here. You can see, and then I'm going to smudge it out. And I'm going to just build that up until I have the smokiness I desire. All right, now I'm going to go back with the About Face Smoke Stick, and I'm going to take, this is again in Close But No Cigar, I'm going to take a little bit of the product on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take a slanted brush, so just like a really pinpointy slanted brush like this. I'm going to dip in to this. This dries down, so work relatively quickly, but also just do a little bit at a time. And I'm just going to place down a light wing. We have light wings. What do you guys think? They're definitely sisters, not twins, but gave myself a little bit of a flick. I wanted it to be really lightweight, so I didn't push too hard when I applied it. I just wanted a little bit of something to kind of, when you do your mascara, it kind of just like all plays well together. Anyways, now we have Eyeshadow Stick, and I have been loving this. So this is About Face. What is the full name? Shadow Stick, and I got the shade Pearly because I just love inner corner highlight. We're going to apply right here. Look how pretty that shade is though. I am obsessed. I'll do a swatch on the back of my hand too. It is so absolutely stunning. Okay, let's do, here we go. Look how pretty that shade is. This is my new favorite eyeshadow stick for kind of inner corner. The shade itself is perfect. It's like the perfect combination of the shade Oyster from Victoria Beckham Beauty and Moonstone from Jane Iredale. It's just, those are my two current like go-to never put down inner corner highlight eyeshadow sticks, and this is the kind of perfect mix of those two shades. I just really like it. You have to let me know what you think of the shade. Do you like inner corner highlight? What's the vibe? This is also really nice. Let me do, you know what? Let's do something that feels ill-advised. In the middle, right here, look how pretty that is. I'm going to just apply it and then blend with my finger just in the middle for kind of a... All right, I really, really like that. So with all these eye products, I actually really like all of them. The lasting power on this eyeliner is incredible. I talk about the About Face Smoke Stick too many times, but I'm obsessed with it. And then this eyeshadow stick is right on the vanity. I've been grabbing it non-stop, even when I wasn't kind of testing it against other products. I really like it. I like the longevity. The eyeliner longevity is there. I mean, I talk about the About Face Smoke Stick all the time. Lasts really long, looks beautiful. I don't know why when I was ordering a bunch of this stuff, I didn't order another About Face Smoke Stick. I wanted to get the either green or the purple, but that's on my list. Now we are moving on to mascara, and I was really excited to get my hands on this because it's meant to be a volumizing, lengthening, like lash lifting mascara, and I love anything that kind of lifts my lashes without me having to curl them. This is the 1994 mascara. Is that the name? Yeah, 1994 mascara. It's a volumizing mascara. I got nervous when I saw it had a plastic wand, just because plastic wand mascaras really are hit or miss for me, because sometimes the spikes on them are too spiky and I'm like, why are you maiming me? Because it hurts. But so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do one coat first, let you guys see, then we're gonna move on to the next coat. Do I have a mirror, a mini mirror here? No. All right, we'll have to make it work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do one coat first of this mascara so you can see, and then move on, do a second coat, then move on to the other eye. That's one coat of mascara versus no coats of mascara. I probably have mascara all over my lid. We're gonna go in, I'm gonna dip back in. I always clean off the tip because a lot of product kind of gets on the tip. And then we're gonna do a second coat. Okay, that's 2 coats of mascara versus no coats of mascara. I'm gonna finish off the other eye and then we'll get into kind of thoughts about the mascara. Mascaras on, 2 coats are on both sides. You have to let me know what you think. So for me, this mascara does clump a bit. I find that it lasts nicely. I don't get like a ton of running or anything, just kind of my regular amount of just in the corner of my eyes because I have weepy eyes, just a little bit of product, but that's really just par for the course for most mascaras with me. I find that this one does clump though, and I have to work quickly between coats. So this is not my favorite mascara because I like something that's a little bit easier to work with, but I do actually really enjoy the way that it lasts and all of that. Just in terms of like the final look of my lashes, it isn't my favorite, but I do feel like it gives some volume. It definitely gives some lengthening, and it definitely gives some kind of like lift and kind of curl. You have to let me know again what you think down below. Now we're going to move on to the lips, and the first thing we're going to talk about is this lip pencil here. I was really excited to get my hands on this just because the shade looked really pretty. So I got this shade here. It's the shade Smoked. It's this like neutrally color brown. I was very excited about this because you know how I love a brown lip liner. So we're gonna apply this. This is a more matte lip liner, so that is just something to note because I know not everyone is super into a matte lip liner. I'm gonna blend out the shade so it isn't so stark because we do have a dark kind of lip color to go with it, which really is not of the season, but I got excited for fall colors. So we're going to just apply this. I don't want to overline or anything. And then just blend kind of pretty quickly because it is more of a matte finish. I don't like to wait too long to blend it out. Lip liner is on. What do you guys think of the shade? So it can definitely go a lot darker, but since it's not quite vampy lip season, I want to kind of blend it out a little bit. But when I go full send with it, it's a very pretty brown shade. We're gonna move on to our lip product. This is their blurred matte lip plump, and I got the shade Opulent in this, I believe. Oh my gosh, my eyesight is the worst. Yeah, Opulent. It's such a pretty shade. I'm gonna do a swatch of it. And I know matte lip colors are kind of crazy, but well, not crazy, but they're kind of more of a fall lip trend, but fall winter. But I got really excited. Look how pretty that is. I know. And so I don't actually, I had lip balm on before this. I'm not wearing any now. Matte lip products in general, I like to put kind of something underneath it because I do have dry lips. However, we're gonna go full send today and apply. Look at that. Look at that shade. Are you kidding me? Then I'm not going to apply too much. I'm gonna press my lips together and kind of blend it out like that. And then we can kind of build up the color as we kind of see fit. Lip colors on. What do you think of the shade? I actually really like the shade. It is pulling brighter on the monitor than it is looking in person. So I'm going to take a picture of my lips just so you can see what it really looks like. That way you can kind of really see, but it's very pretty. It's very nice and vampy. This is definitely a color I would grab more so in like fall winter than I would now, but I got really excited about the shade. This definitely gives you like a blur to the lips, so like dusty crusties aren't really like enhanced, and it has more of a whipped feeling to it. It kind of feels like the Kim K, when they still existed, their whipped kind of matte lip color. So this, it does set down, but it doesn't set down as intensely as other more traditional liquid lip colors, at least on my lips. But it is kind of more on that matte drying side. So I do like to wear something underneath it, but I really wanted you to be able to see how matte it was because it is very matte. It does have a blurring effect on the lips. It isn't enhancing my lip lines that much. By the end of the day, I do notice like some enhancement of my lip lines, obviously, but like right now, I don't feel like it's highlighting my lip lines too much, which I really appreciate because sometimes like matte products really enhance your lip lines and you're like, okay, didn't realize it under attack right now. But this is really pretty. I really enjoy this. You have to let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the makeup look? We went a little bit smoky on the eyes, not crazy. And yeah, that's it. That's it for my full face of about face. Now I want to just highlight my favorites from the video. So my first favorite is definitely foundation. I love this thing. Then my next favorite product is the, oh, it's right here, the blush. I really like this. I like the way that it wears, the way that it lasts. I don't know, it's just, and the shade is just so pretty. I feel like a lot of people would like this shade. This is again the shade Quickie, which is so fun. Then we have the eye products. Those are also my favorite. So the About Face Smoke Stick, the Shadow Stick. This is in the shade, was it? It's not Moonstone, I'm making that up. No, Pearly. And then their eyeliner. These three products are definitely standouts. The actual Shadow Stick, it lasts so long. It's actually wild how long it lasts. Like it just doesn't really move. Did you see that? I hope you can see. There we go. It really doesn't move. Do you see that? It lasts so long, which is great because sometimes you just want like your inner corner highlight, I feel like fades really fast, and this doesn't fade, which is amazing. And yeah, that's it for this video. That is it for my full face of About Face. I would love to know down below what other brands you want me to do a full face of. That way I can start grabbing some of the products and testing them out, because it does take a while to be able to film something like this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.